So this is my presentation of learning. And the first set of skills I came from was building. And so basically we had a project where we had to find and build hydroponic systems at a table. And so the first skills I learned from that was how to work and build as a group. Because if some people aren't doing work or you're not working as a group, you can take longer and your work can't be as good as if you worked as a group. And if one person isn't doing the work and everybody else is doing the work, they can drag you down. And I also learned how to make rough drawings before doing the project. And I learned how to make the rough drawings precise so that you wouldn't have to estimate or anything when you're making your project. Like you have to use precise measurements, like inches to a foot. And I learned how to plan things out better. So we would have to plan what we would do on these work days, or what we would plan what we would do on these days, and give out roles to everyone in our group, so we can work equally and get our work done as fast as we can. And also being precise as best as we can be when we work, because when we work we don't want to be sloppy, or like when we were drilling holes we had to be precise on the holes and not like estimate where the drill bit would go on the wood and just drill randomly, because that would make it uneven on our tables. So we had to evenly measure our table legs 3 times or so we'd get the exact measurement. The next thing I learned was real-life culinary skills from the field trip. And what I learned was how to cook without getting hurt. So the chef taught us how to use different methods to cook without cutting your fingers, like the bear claw method, where you put your fingers inside, and it can also guide your knife. We also learned how to keep utensils cleaner so you don't spread germs from item to item, like using different towels to wipe different things. We also learned how to be careful with the utensils. Like if I were to drop a knife, then like he told me, falling knife has no handle, so you can't grab a falling knife and you just have to let it drop. I also learned how to cut and cook different vegetables and meats, and how to handle them, like bell peppers and onions. You have to cut them differently. You can't just randomly cut the bell pepper because it has seeds, and you have to thoroughly clean the meat, or you can get different diseases from it. So the next thing I learned was how to make infographics. It's a good way to organize info in a really fancy way. It allows you how to keep the reader's attention, and it's easier and more fun to create the infograph, because it has pictures, and pictures can capture people's attention more than just words on the poster. So like this artifact is the infograph me and Cameron made about putting our trash into perspective. And instead of just words, we had like pictures explaining the size of the trash we have, like in perspective. So I think that's way interesting than just words. What I learned next was hydroponics, and from this I learned how to maintain the system that we have to build. Like, I also learned about pH, EC, and EC levels. Like, you have to have, like, a plant has to have a certain pH level to grow, or it can't get enough nutrients to grow. And EC levels were the electric, and plants can't grow if there's too much electrical conductivity in the water. And what plants can grow in hydroponics and what plants can't. Like, eggplants are hard to grow in hydroponics, but lettuce can, and potatoes can't because they grow in soil, and hydroponics is not using soil. And I learned that it was a more sustainable method instead of traditional farming. Instead of sowing from the land over and over and taking the nutrients out of it, we can use hydroponics. And also, it's easier to maintain, and so I also learned how to write papers better. Like, first thing we had to do was outlining and making a rough draft. I learned how to do that better because I used to just write, but I learned how to properly make a web and organize the thoughts into branches. And I also got better at peer editing, because when someone edits your paper, they can catch the mistakes that you can't find, even if you might look 3 times, and you can probably catch theirs, because you can help each other a lot. And then we had second drafting papers, where you had to use the edits that your peers made and the edits that you found to make the paper better. And then teacher feedback was the last one, because I learned that teacher feedback can help you a lot, because the teacher can find all the mistakes that you and your friends can't find. Like, on my paper, I thought we found all the mistakes I had in there, but Miss Calibro found 10 mistakes or more on my paper, so I was really surprised by that, and it helped me a lot on my paper. That's the end of my presentation.
Okay. All right, questions and comments. Questions and comments. Yeah, all right.
It's positive, actually. You seemed comfortable and sort of passionate, even though, you believed what you were saying, even if you weren't very expressive about it.
I really liked it because it was really clear and easy to understand what you were saying, and it was presented neatly and not overcrowded. So yeah.
Thank you.
A couple things. I think you could have made your artifacts that more specific, I guess. Like, for instance, writing papers, what type of papers or something like that, just to be more specific, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't talk.
No, I'll add to that. I understand what Jordan is saying is that for the artifacts, you have these skills that you have, right? Like the writing skill. Okay, rather than just saying papers in general, be more specific about what was the one paper where you learned a lot about writing, and have that as a specific artifact. So I learned a lot about writing. For example, here is one instance where that occurred. Yeah. Okay. I think you got the idea of having an artifact for the skills, but you need to link it and be a little more specific with it. Yeah. County.
I thought that you went at a real steady pace, so it's really easy to understand you and everything. But at certain times, you kind of said a lot.
We should try and take the word "like" out of our vocabulary unless used properly. Ugh, I hate that word. Okay.
What skills do you have to improve on for next semester?
Okay. Just that was a question.
Oh, what skills? I'll have to improve on more like I have to improve on like building and like writing paper still. I'm still not very good at writing papers.
Okay, so the skills that you've improved on. Let me see if I can sum this up. The skills you've learned and worked on, you still need to improve more.
Yeah.
Okay. You good? Jordan.
I don't know, I might be doing on this way, but I think you kind of relied on the screen more than you probably needed to. I think you knew what you wanted to say, but I think you just wanted kind of reassurance, I guess. So I think you probably could have been less reliable on the screen.
Okay. Good point. Cammy.
I thought it was really awesome how you didn't use script, and
Yep.
I really liked how you elaborated on your and you gave a lot of details when you were explaining your artifact, so that was cool.
All right. Almost out of time. So we'll stop here.